Hey everyone, it's technology expert Burton Kelso here with another tech tip to help you get the most out of the technology in your life. Today we're talking about how to prevent apps from accidentally tracking you, or I should say nefariously, they are tracking you, and what you need to do in order to turn those apps and social media accounts off. The challenge is when we look at our tech devices, we don't realize that they're actually giving out our personal location. Now, in a lot of instances, it's for good. Now, if you're at a popular mom and pop restaurant or a chain restaurant, then you can easily share your location information with your family and friends to kind of add some connectivity with your social media posts. People connect when you go to familiar places that they've been to, eat at restaurants that they've eaten at, or even attended sporting events at popular sporting venues. But the downside to that is that companies are actually tracking your information when it comes to your social media accounts and even your smartphones. Companies use this information in order to target ads to you in order to make you a little bit more likely to buy a product or to use a service. The other bad side about apps tracking you and your devices tracking you is that if you are in an abusive relationship, you can someone close to you can use the tracking utilities in apps and in social media in order to find your location. In some instances, people wonder why their abuser is able to find them, and it's because they have left on tracking services that allow people to find where they are. Doesn't necessarily mean that someone hacked into your account. A lot of times people just can stalk your social media and find out where you are posting your information. Also, photos of you can be geotagged, meaning that your photos do know your approximate location and can give location to you. And I'll give you an example if you give me a second. Let me dig out my iPhone and let me bring up my favorite program that allows me to share my iPhone with you. So the program is called Lonely Screen, and what Lonely Screen will do, if it ever opens up, is it will allow me to share my iPhone with you so that you can kind of see what's going on. I finally got Lonely Screen open. Let me open up Lonely Screen if I can turn my iPhone the right way, and then we can get down to business as far as doing um, screen mirroring, and I can show you how geotagging works. Of course, let me maximize this. My screen is connected, and let me go over to my desktop and show you how that works. Now with Lonely Screen, I can go into photos on my computer, or not my computer, but on my iPhone. But one of the things I want you to make note of is places. Now, as you're looking at this, you can see a lot of the places I've been in North America. Now, if I zoom in on this map a little bit, it can definitely let you know where a lot of these photos were taken um, geographically. And these are the geotags working on the photo. As you can see, I've been in California, Las Vegas, somewhere outside of Las Vegas. But the idea of these is to kind of catalog your photos for your own personal use so that you can share with your family and friends where you have been. But the downside is that people can find those geotags on your photos and kind of get an idea of where you go. So to get back to the whole location sharing, you can actually turn that feature off on both your Android and on your iOS device. So let's start there. So for starters, as far as your Android device is concerned, you first want to go to Settings, Security and Location, Play Protect and Screen Lock. Once you're under Security and Location, then you can go to Location and click on Location, and you want to turn that service off. What this does is that it allows you Android users out there to block your not necessarily your cellular company, because they're always going to know where you are, but apps that you download onto your Android device from finding your location. And by default, these settings are turned on, and sometimes when you download those updates to your Android devices, they magically turn themselves back on. Now, you iPhone users, it's almost the same thing. Let's go and look at a screenshot of that. So it would be General on your iPhone under Settings. Notice Settings there. Once you're under Settings, go to Location Services, and you want to go in and turn Location Services off. Now, on some of these, you can see on the iPhone that it has all of the apps that are using Location Services on. And we're going to get into that in just a quick second, because we're going to break it down. Because basically, on an Apple device, you could tell it that you don't want apps to see your location. And I can't leave out my Android friends, because it's the same thing for Android. If you look under the settings for Android, you can see all of the services that are using location. And if you were to click on See All, it would definitely allow you to look at all your apps to see what's going on. So moving on, let's talk about social media apps, because you could go in and turn them off, but I will specifically tell you what to do. So let's talk about Facebook. Facebook has location services. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. You should have known that, because it's Facebook and they track everywhere you go. So anyway, going back to Facebook, real quick, all right, let's go back. You just want to go to the settings in the app, and then go to account settings, and then click location and select it off. And then you can also turn off disable location history as well while you're in settings under Facebook on your phone. Again, you can leave these settings on, but again, if you want to make sure that no one's seeing where you're going, then obviously you want to turn that setting off. Now, Instagram, which is part of the Meta universe and the Meta family. Same thing, phone settings, privacy, scroll to location services, and locate Instagram from the apps. Select never. And note, you can always choose only while using the app, or just choosing never, which is what you want to do for your Instagram. Pretty easy, right? You're going to be going to the same location, but we need to break it down, because, and I guess I can show you. Hold on. Let's get back into lonely screen, and at least from the iPhone perspective, I can show you exactly what I'm talking about, and then we can break it down. So let's connect using app or AirPlay or whatever it's called. Give it a few seconds. My phone's going to connect to lonely screen. Let's get into our apps here. And then we're going to go into settings. And then once settings is up, let's take a look at the desktop. Oh, look, there's an iOS 0.5 update. We'll install that later and make it that another tip. So if you go under settings, and then you want to go to, I'm going to feel stupid if I can't find this. No, we don't want to go to about, because it shows all the applications on the phone. And I hate when I get into this brain lock thing when I'm like, where in the heck do I find specific stuff? It's not software update, not CarPlay. I feel stupid. So under settings, if I go back to the main screen, you can see all of the apps that are installed on my phone. I feel like a dodo. Anyway, if you go into an app, you can tell it what it is not going to have access to. So for Blink, I want it to have access to all of that stuff. But you kind of get the drift. You go into a specific app like Facebook, and this is probably the perfect example. See where it says location? I can turn it on while using, but I can also click on it and go never, ask the next time, or when I share or using with the app. Now, like an idiot, let's go back again. So it's just under plain settings. Once you get into settings, just scroll all the way down until you get to the section where you've got all of your applications. And for each app that you have on your iPhone, then you can go in and change location services. And For you Android users out there, it's going to be the same darn thing, but it looks a little bit different. So anyway, let's move on. I can't believe I had brain fog up there trying to find it. Now, one thing that I wanted to show was with Snapchat, and then we'll go back to my phone. Now, Snapchat, you can go to your phone settings, privacy, and change the location services as well. But one of the things that Snapchat has that a lot of people aren't aware of is its whole ghost mode. And I want to bring up my face first, and then we'll go into Snapchat once I find ghost mode. I found it, and I'm going to zoom out because I don't know where well, I'll give you an example. Let me zoom out from my location first. Then let's go back to lonely screen, and then there we are. So I got Insta up, or not Insta, Snapchat, and there you go. As you can see, I'll at least let you folks know I'm in Missouri, but there's a collection of all the people that I'm connected with. And as you zoom out more, Snapchat will allow you to see locations, but if your friends have locations on, then they will show up on the map, and it shows like really where they are, and I'm floating around sort of. But one of the things I want you to notice is this little ghost dude over me. That is ghost mode, which you can flip on Snapchat, and it will show it from my perspective where I'm located, but for other people they won't be able to see where I'm on the map. So you can go into settings in privacy and turn off Snapchat. But you also want to make sure that you have ghost mode turned on as well, so that people can't find you on Snapchat. Now TikTok, believe it or not,
Armies killed more men than Stalin and Hitler combined, and 16 million people in the world today are direct.
I didn't want that to talk, but anyway, we stopped it. Let me close TikTok, but TikTok does have location services on it, so you want to make sure that you are turning off location services for TikTok as well, to make sure that people aren't able to find where you are on the app when you post. So hopefully that gives you some ideas of the apps. Last but not least, let's talk about Twitter. Real quick, Twitter doesn't necessarily have location services on it, but it does have a feature that when you post to Twitter, it will actually show where you are when you tweet. So for example, let's pull up Twitter, and if I were to create a new post, it will show where I am going to post before I post. But anyway, let's get into TikTok so I can show you that. So let's go and open up Lonely Screen again. And oh, look at that. It's already ready to go. So let's share desktop. And there we are. So you should be able to see location. And look, up there we go. So there it is. If you can tag a location on Twitter. And as you can see, Twitter by default has Missouri on there. But then there's all the cities in Missouri that you can do. But you can also tell it to remove it. So that way, when you post to Twitter, it will not actually show your location when you're tweeting. And that's kind of a good thing. Again, if someone's stalking you and trying to find you out. Now, let's talk about our online accounts and our devices. Now, if you're a Google user, Google is tracking your location. So there's tips for Google on how to go into data and privacy and make sure that the history is turned off, or not history, but your ad location. Same thing with go back, Apple devices. Now you may not think that on your Apple devices you can, I think that's wrong. That is crazy. But anyway, Apple has location services built into it. And let's go to Windows, and then I'll manually show you Apple. So on Windows, you just go into settings, privacy, and location, and then toggle off location services for your Apple device, or not your Apple device, but your Windows device, to turn off location services. And now, why is this important? And why is my Mac popping up? Because I'm doing too much. But what you need to deal with Windows and Mac is the simple fact that you are carrying your laptop around, Windows or Mac, and you are broadcasting your location wherever you go. So you want to make sure that you are turning location services for your Windows and your Macintosh computer to make sure that you are keeping yourself safe and out of the hands of prying eyes. I actually found steps for it. I feel stupid. So anyway, let me minimize, and it's so funny because I brought up a Mac. Let me bring that up, and let me minimize my Mac. Let's go back to desktop, and then there's the settings for Mac OS. So go to the Apple menu, go to System Settings, Privacy and Security, and Location Services, and turn it off. What does that look like in real time? I don't know. Let's see what we got here. All right, so there's a Mac. Let's maximize it. And I forgot the steps. So location services, wherever that is under settings. So system preferences. And then privacy and security, which I always have a hard time finding on a Mac. And you're probably staring right at it and saying, Burton, why can't you see it? But once we click on security and preferences, then you want to go to privacy. Once you're under privacy, there's location services, and you want to turn it off for your Mac. How amazing is that? And as you can see, it's turned off. Now what you may have to do on some of your Macs, especially if you have a password, is you may have to click on the lockbox to make changes, put your password in, and then it will allow you to make changes to location services. But again, for Windows and Mac users, it's very important that you turn those location services off, because you may not think Microsoft or Apple's tracking you on your device, but turn those location services off on your operating system to ensure that those items aren't being tracked, as well as social media and other apps that may be tracking your services. So with that said, if you have comments or questions about location services, even though I did fumble through the video and I finally got the information that you needed, leave your comment section in the comment section below. Love to hear from you to find out what questions you have about location services and how to turn them off for specific items. Under most circumstances, they're going to be under settings for your iPhone or for your Android device, and then you can turn it off per app. And with every video, I always ask that you comment, like, share it with your friends, because I know that you know people out there that need help with their technology items. Now with every video and with all my tech tips, my goal is to open you up to a whole new world of ideas and experience to help you get more from the technology that you use at home and at work. I love technology. I've read all the manuals, and I'm serious about making technology fun, safe, and easy to use for everyone. So take care of yourself and do many things to make you smile. And thanks for watching.